For 30 miles, these guys went on some pretty rough trails today, and with President Bush leading the entire way. So we start tonight with developing news out of Bell County, where a water pipe rupture is forcing residents to conserve water. Each person had something like this. It wrote a message on the back of it and put it on the cross in the middle of a service. They forced their way into this store, breaking the door jamb. Major problems on roadways all across our viewing area throughout the day. And the Texas Report's Christiana Gross now joins us live from Waco for more on those roadway conditions. Any kind of loud noise, it's an inner jolt, even something like thunder. Now, the mood of this walk is a lot different than last year. Last year was more about taking back the city. This year it's a little more positive. Take this off, and whenever it's stretched like that underwater, it's difficult to get off. As police follow the man after he robbed a bank in Hillsborough. Now, I wanted to show you a map of this because it's kind of complicated, the path that he took. We start tonight with breaking news out of Killeen, where an 18-year-old is dead after a rollover crash with 5 people inside. There are zebra mussels right on the shoreline, and there's not a lot on this rock or on these rocks right now. But they just try not to think about it, and they're just trying to get through the rest of South by Southwest. And do, again, definitely be careful on the roads. We just got a report of an accident on Waco Drive in the Brazos River, and another car actually ran into a patrol car that was responding to that. So definitely be safe on the roads out there. Drive slowly, and if you don't have to drive, just stay home and watch the Oscars. Red carpet is actually next right after this, and we'll start at 10:30 right after the Oscars. So enjoy that. Have a good evening. We'll see you later tonight. A devilish sky looms over a Belton street. Shattered windows, torn up yards, and piles of ice show evidence of what happened. And this is what it was like. Hail pelting this home as residents witnessed the excitement, and we experienced it too. Watch it, watch it, watch it. My cameraman and I drove through the storm, and while we drove, we saw multiple cars taking shelter, and eventually we had to as well. But when the sun came up, we saw other cars that weren't so lucky. This car owner heard it all from inside his home.
All of a sudden, just hear this loud boom, and there's hail flying everywhere. It's probably the craziest thing I've experienced here in Belton weather-wise.
But on this street, it wasn't the cars, but the homes that were hit hard.
It damaged pretty much everything that was outside.
Dawn and her son were inside during the storm. She says the scariest part was not knowing what's going on.
I just knew there was glass flying completely through my house to the back door.
Now, the wind and the hail wasn't the only thing that caused damage. The water was coming down so hard and so fast down this gutter, it sprayed the rocks from right here onto the sidewalk, and it even broke the ceramic pot.
And the windows were just busting in. So it was pretty scary.
But thankfully, the storm only brought hail, and the most important things on this street were never damaged.
Nobody was hurt, and so we're good. We'll get it fixed.
This is the Texas Report, Weekend Edition.
An early summer storm causes major flooding in central Texas, blocking roads and even overtaking cars. Welcome to the Texas Report. I'm Adam Hammons. Let's bring in First Alert Meteorologist Conley Isom with your latest forecast. Conley, what are you tracking into tonight?
Well, things are much quieter this evening across central Texas and the Brazos Valley. We'll take a look at your 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, thanks very much, Conley. Well, as he said, these storms hit pretty hard in some areas, causing flooding and road closures. The Texas Report's Christiana Gross was out storm chasing with Chief Meteorologist Matt Hines earlier tonight. Christy, what did you see out there?
We didn't see anything too severe today, Adam, but this storm did cause some problems for drivers. And again, what that pickup driver did was dangerous. So remember, if you see flooding like that, it's best just to turn around. And I also talked to some drivers who were stopped, and they said they had never seen that area flood that bad before. In the Waco newsroom, Christiana Gross, News Channel 25.
All right, thanks very much, Christy. And after the rains tonight, several people in Waco had to clean up their yards. One man came out to find his tree broke off and hit his window, shattering it. As he cut up the branches, he said he thought a tornado came through. But that's not the only tree that broke off. The storm broke off several branches throughout Waco area, including on this massive tree next to the old Brazos River Steakhouse. And the storms tonight left thousands of people in McLennan County without power. Encore says 4,000 people were left without power at one point tonight. Encore says they are assessing the situation and will let you know as soon as they release any more information. And Central Texas was not the only part of the Lone Star State that saw flash flooding today. Flooding was a major problem in the Fort Worth area, especially along Interstate 30. The floodwaters were so bad in Granbury that the Hood County Sheriff's Office issued a code red alert. They asked everyone to stay inside and off the roads. But even that became difficult as floodwaters eventually poured into their homes. Now, rainfall totals in Granbury reached almost 5 inches this afternoon. Friends and family are preparing to say goodbye to LaCharles Montgomery, the Waco teen who died after being swept away by floodwaters 9 days ago. The viewing for LaCharles Montgomery will begin at 10 tomorrow morning at Victorious Life Church in Waco. The funeral will follow at 11. They are expecting a large crowd. Montgomery was on his way home from work during a heavy rainstorm at night on June 12th. Police say his car was swept away by the fast-moving creek behind Midway High School. Investigators recovered Montgomery's body downstream from where they found his car. And we did have a lot of rain today, and flooding has hit multiple streets and homes. Coming up, First Alert Meteorologist Conley Eisen will have your full Texas weather forecast. Plus, a Houston father and daughter take the law into their own hands after catching 3 burglars in their home.
I walked over here to the edge of my driveway and snapped a picture of the fire.
Mandy Jars was outside of her home just seconds before the blast.
I was going to send it to my husband and was walking back and got right here to the edge of the grass, and it blew me over here to my front porch.
That's what threw her close to 20 feet, but amazingly, she was okay.
I stand here and I look at that wall, and I think if it did that, how was I able to even get up and go inside to get my son to safety? It's incredible.
Jars took this path to get to her 10-year-old son. She says she had blinders on until she was able to get to his room.
When he tells it, he says, you know, Mama, I didn't know what was happening, but as soon as I heard you call my name and I knew you were okay. So he was worried about me and I was worried about him. And this, what you see, this is minimal compared to what you will see.
And she was right. Glass was everywhere, and the ceilings, which had fallen, cluttered almost every room.
It's incredible that we're still here. It's absolutely phenomenal.
But as for repairs, it'll have to be torn down, and she'll have to find a new place to rent. Other families do plan to rebuild right where they are.
We started out with it and we added on as the kids grew. And that's the reason why I want to keep it. I put a lot of hard work into it.
It's your home.
It's my home. It's my home. And I want to keep it. And it was fortunate that I could.
But even though Jars can't live here, she says she's not leaving West.
We definitely want to stay here. This is our home. This is the town we were born and raised in, grew up in our whole lives. This is where all of our memories are. And of course, we want that for our kids too.